Hello and thank you for tuning in. In our last presentation, we discussed why so many films are flopping and why audiences are reluctant to spend their time, money, and energy going to theaters. Unfortunately, the recent film Love Me from the reputed producer Dil Raju adds to the woes of keeping audiences away from theaters. When dealing with the fictional fantasy films, supernatural thrillers, and ghost stories, a great amount of conviction is required on the part of the writers and directors. Otherwise, how can you convince audience to believe in your fantasy universe? Love Me is a huge letdown due to its terrible writing, marred by the screenplay filled with convenient plot points. For instance, why would our hero, a YouTuber, venture into deserted haunted house in the middle of the night? No matter how daring he is, perhaps the intention was to scare us. But today's audiences are smart enough to see through such contrivances. The proceedings on the screen are either confusing or overly contrived. The hero goes to the haunted house not to unearth its mystery, which is what one would expect, but because the director is more focused on justifying the title of the film, Love Me, thus the hero is ever eager to fall in love with the ghost. After enduring 136 minutes of this ordeal, we are left wondering if it was a crime thriller, a love story, a ghost story, or a psychological thriller. When you attempt to add a spice of everything into one dish, the end result is Love Me, which concludes by suggesting a sequel. Hopefully, the makers will spare us from the torture of watching the sequel. Regarding the main lead, Ashish maintains a single expression throughout the film and still seems very conscious in front of the camera. Vaishnavi Chaitanya of Baby fame delivers an average performance, and there is very little to say about the famous ghost Divyavati. M.M. Keeravani sir has let us down this time as the songs in Love Me fails to make an impact. A haunting song like Kahin Deep Jale Kahin Dil from classic film 20 Saal Baad could have made a significant difference. Films like Love Me should be supported by excellent technical execution, and the director of photography should lead the way. Although we know cinematographer P.C. Sriram is a talented technician, his work here is a mix of good, bad, and ugly. Unfortunately, he still prefers the old school lighting techniques which don't work well for a haunted house setting in the middle of the night. For example, in a close-up shot, we see additional golden tinge light bouncing off the hair or from just behind the character, but in the immediate mid-shot or long shot, there is absolutely no light. As for the director, Arun may have the great skills in narrating stories to the producers and convincing them to back the film, but he fails to convince the audiences in theaters. Otherwise, Love Me would have been rejected outright at the conceptual stage. There is one scene in the graveyard where the hero and heroine are engaged in emotional conflict. In the mid-shot, we see strong winds blowing, causing their hair to flutter, highlighting by the famous backlight lighting scheme. However, when the shot cuts to the close-up, the main lead hair is perfectly groomed. This kind of inconsistency was acceptable some 30-40 years back when a hero could leave home in shoes and black shirt and reach the office in sandals and white shirt. Grow up, boys, and wake up before it's too late to revive and save cinema. A recommendation from Movie Matrix Reviews. I think audiences know better than us. Please let us know your thoughts on today's presentation. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon for notifications. Take care.